Welcome back to AV Veterans Talk. We're continuing our conversation with this week's guest, Bobby Breech. So, Bobby, during Vietnam, time period you ended up over there was pretty much after, ground ops had pretty much come to it for America's involvement there. But the country was disintegrating, I guess I don't know if that's the right word or not there, but
it's being taken over.
It was being taken over because the South Vietnamese they couldn't stand on their own, and of course the North was coming down, and basically it was a very trying time, I would imagine, for those that were citizens that supported the U.S. effort, those who were in the military, things like that, because they knew it was going to be a brutal takeover. Right. And so everybody wanted to get out of the country. And I don't really, for those listening, the actual political aspect of that was what? I mean, there came a time to where we got to get out of this country. Right. We're going to take people with us. Who's going to go? They were loading up airplanes. They were loading up helicopters. They were going... can you give us a little bit of history on that aspect of how that all played out and was, or the reason it was?
It was, okay, you want me to really go into it?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay. It was early one morning on April 1st, 1975. Mm-hmm. We got woke up. They just said flight quarters. Mm-hmm. And everything, or however they did it, because there were planes coming down, or helicopters coming down. Mm-hmm. And two of them landed on our ship, and I'm in the ship fitter carpenter shop. So we're looking right at the
deck.
At the deck. So boom, running down there. This helicopter comes down, and I'm running down there, and this guy gets out, and he's got a .45 in his hand. Mm-hmm. And he throws it like this and puts his hands up like that. And the next thing I know, I'm checked across the room, or the flight deck, and it's a sergeant at arms, and he picks it up and throws it over in the ocean. He says, "You could have been killed." I says, "I'm just walking down it. What do I know?"
Yeah.
21-year-old punk kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. We're all punks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then it started, and they started coming in, and we were up for actual 4 days.
Yeah.
And but it was, you would look out and you would swear you were in a harbor.
Yeah.
Because there were boats, big boats, little boats.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just packed full of refugees.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
And to me, the ones that we took were the ones that really paid the money to get over here. So the ones that did kind of have something.
Yeah.
A little bit. Because one of those helicopters, I told you, there two of them landed right off the bat. One of them was Vice President Key's helicopter. Mm-hmm. All the other ones, then they would start to throw them over to the side. They just push them over to the side.
Right. Yeah.
And I would say on the total of the couple days, well, basically that day, we probably did about at least six or eight helicopters. Mm-hmm. Just pushed them over to the side.
Yeah. And the people that were getting off there, of course, did you have that Marine contingent on board your ship?
Yes.
So, and you're bringing in, how many people actually ended up on your ship of the refugees?
I would say about maybe 200 or 300. Mm-hmm. But they were in the well. They were in where the Mike A boats go.
Right.
We put them down below.
Right.
In this big, it looked like a big warehouse in the middle of the ship.
Yeah. So
we had to build bathroom facilities for them and stuff like that
on the ship.
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm sure women, children, men.
Women, children,
and interacting. I don't know if you interacted with any of those, or did they just go down to that? They were in their own world.
They were in their own world.
They were, and so from your, ship, would you sail out? Where did these people go after they came to you to escape? I mean, so did you sail off somewhere and drop them off somewhere, or
After, yes.
where'd they go?
Then we went back to Subic Bay, Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where they got off.
Yeah. Other ships that were involved, that you say big ships, little ships, I mean, were they mostly all American ships, or it was a hodgepodge?
Where we were, it was our, 7th Fleet. We were 7th Fleet.
Seventh Fleet, so it was all your.
But we had a couple. I think there were an LST, a tanker, or
Yeah.
a supply ship and stuff like that. That
Yeah.
was all in. There were probably about, I'm not sure. Oh, that was a long time ago. A good 6 or 7 ships
Yeah.
that were with us and
Yeah.
everything. But
Got you, a 21-year-old seeing something like that play out, not realizing the history that you were actually seeing, and after all of the years of involvement in Vietnam, it came
Yeah.
down to this. You were there at ground
For the
zero.
end.
You were there
Yeah.
for the very end,
the end.
and seeing that horrible situation, I guess, come to an end.
Yeah.
And so it makes you as an American, I'm sure, embrace the American ideals a little bit
Yeah.
tighter, when you see the possibilities of what can happen when things come unhinged.
As bad as certain things are, we don't have it that bad.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't.
Absolutely. So America's still working this morning.
Mm-hmm.
It is. So we'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk about your latter part and your adventures as you came back into civilian life of becoming the American Legion guy. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
we'll be right back here with Bobby.
All right.
I'm Bob Alvis, and thanks for joining us for this segment of AV Veterans Talk.